Welcome everyone to Podchurch Podcast. I am the Super Diesel Daniel Hood. I am with my guest for this week. She is the one and only Beth Fletcher. Say hello.
Hi. Hello.
Yeah, hello. It's good to have you on.
Thank
of course,
you.
we're in the same venue we were last week. We're here at Mystic Life here in Xenia, Ohio, which she is the primary rent landlord for this place for now, of course, but she's also the owner of Mystic Life. So I want the people at home, they want to know a little bit, because we were in this space last week for Tony Goff, and I'm here with you right now. But tell us, this is your time to talk about Mystic Life. What do people do here, and how can people be involved? They wanted to help out Mystic Life.
Okay. Mystic Life is it's a center for people that are looking to heal their spirit.
Yeah.
And a lot of times when it comes to healing, you have to go within first, and so we offer energy healing here, sound frequency healing, yoga. We also offer tarot and a little bit of a mediumship. So right now it's just myself, Beth Fletcher, and my best friend and my business associate, Wendy Bird. She's our yoga instructor.
Yes.
So if you want to learn more about us, you can find us on Facebook, Instagram. Also, we have a website, mysticlifecenter.com, and it has all of our events, classes. You can schedule Reiki sessions, all kinds of things on there. And if you want to contact us, just go there.
But we had a little story last week after we did the Tony Goff interview. One of the songs he included on his playlist was Return of the Mac by Mark Morrison. And you have a good story about that song, and I do as well. So tell us about this great story you had about Mark Morrison's song.
Well, what's funny is the song, music can just take you to a certain time of your life, and it can, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. But my father was a little bit of a good time type person. He loved to drink, and I remember as a kid, as soon as we would hear that song come up, especially if my cousins were over, we knew it's time to party. Like, our parents weren't going to be paying attention to us as much. We could play hide and go seek until midnight, and so hearing that song gives me this woo! It's like we're about to have a good time, and it's a good memory. I mean,
absolutely. Yeah. Well, I think that's a relatable memory, because you know what? I'll tell you mine. For years, I did college radio. There was one period I was gone from doing it for 2 or 3 years. That's a long story for another time, if I haven't already told it. I returned to college radio, which was Rice State University station. I came back after a long hiatus, and the first song I played was Mark Morrison's Return of the Mac. And because I was thinking things like, hey y'all, I'm back. And I have a bunch of songs that was like that, but that was the very first one. And later that night, my grandpa and my mom were listening on the radio, and I came back that night. My grandpa, he was like, "Are you the Return of the Mac?" He was goofing on me because he had never heard that song. My mom had heard it, but he hadn't. And he was blown away. He was okay, Return of the Mac. So that was, for that day, the rest of that night, I think the following day, that was his go-to joke.
Oh, definitely.
He was okay, Return of the Mac.
And it's a good memory. That's what you think of every time you hear it. Yeah.
It brings me joy, because yes, he did pass away in 2014, so it's always a good thing about my grandfather when I can.
Yeah.
So that's my Return of the Mac story. So let's talk about young Beth. This would have been the early 80s then, mid-80s maybe. You're developing your sense of music, or maybe you're around your family and you're just listening to songs. What was the first song that you just heard that, as a little kid, your mind just exploded when you heard it? You connected with it. You listened to it. You had to hear it every day. What was the first song you fell in love with?
There's 2 songs that pop out in my head, and they're they're parallel in my mind.
That's okay.
I grew up, my parents were young, and my father was in the military, so he was only 19, and we were living out in the middle of the desert, and the only thing we could watch was MTV. So that's what I grew up with. Instead of cartoons, it was always MTV was on, and I remember loving the Steve Perry, Oh Sherry,
Yeah.
That song was like, I loved it. And my mother said that the first song that I like fell in love with was "Wake Me Up Before You Go" by Wham.
Yeah, those are two good '80s songs.
Yeah.
And yes, those are good memories of the '80s. You know, strong visuals. You know, the culture. You know, I was born in '85, so it's the time that's you know, I missed that. And of course I missed grunge. Like when I was old enough to remember music, I was like the mid '90s. I was like my foray into music loving.
Yeah.
But anyway, I've heard a lot of good things about the '80s. So I will take your word for it, Beth. Now let's talk about what's next. What's the second? Whether it's one song or two songs that you had the first set. You would have been a little bit older. I'm thinking now this the late '80s. You know, maybe you're about to be done with elementary school, or maybe you're going into junior high, they called it back then. So about this time frame, what were the songs that you would have been in love with at this time?
You know, what's funny about the way music was in my home growing up, my dad spoke through music.
Yeah.
Like that's how you knew if he loved you, is that he would tell you to listen to a song. It was like, so like his love language was music.
Yeah.
So there's the music that I grew up with like through MTV, but I did love Nine Inch Nails. It was Tool. Like, so that was probably like 93.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because remember grunge, I believe when Nirvana had that big hit, it was like 91 that happened, or maybe going into 92. Yeah. So you would have been, like 9 or 10.
Yeah.
So you would have still been an elementary school kid. Well, let me ask you this, like, being that you was an elementary school kid and grunge was becoming big, did little kids wear flannel? Like, was it the style that was in your face during that time?
What's funny is, I would say that me and probably a handful of kids were like the first ones in like my junior high that decided to wear the flannels and basically your dad's clothes, like like the flannels and t-shirts.
Yeah.
And so I would say it was probably around, and it wasn't quite huge yet to be that way. It was just, for one, it was cheaper. We didn't really have a lot of money, so it was a good way to dress kind of in style and not have to spend a lot of money on it. But I would say I was like I was about 12 or 13 when I started embracing grunge. Ah,
gotcha. Yeah. All right, so we've done your first two sets of tracks. Now let's talk about your third set of favorite track or tracks. This would have been, we're talking about the song you said Tool. Well, the Tool song. What was this Tool song that you liked?
What turned me on first to Tool was Sober.
Oh, okay.
And that was on the Undertow CD album. And I didn't buy that one. Again, like I was born in '82, so I was kind of young when they came out. But it was when Enema had come out. I was 14, and that's when I dove heavy into it. I got that CD for Christmas. Like it was a whole thing. I would say Stinkfish was probably the song that really threw me into Tool.
Stinkfish. Heavy. Okay.
Yeah.
Now I've heard of Tool, but I don't know a lot of their songs. So that'll definitely a playlist. So you said Stinkfist?
Stinkfist.
Stinkfist. Yeah. Okay. So I will learn about that song. You will as well as we will make a personal playlist of most of the songs that Beth talks about here. So with that, that's your second set of songs. Let's get to your third set of songs. At this point, you would have been probably in your junior high years because we talked about little Beth and elementary school Beth. So now it's junior high. What's a song that you just discovered that you was like, oh yeah, this is a song of my junior high years. I feel on top of the world. Tell me about this song and artist.
It is Kashmir by Led Zeppelin.
Okay.
Yeah. I grew up listening to Led Zeppelin, but there was this pivotal moment where it's like I heard it. Yeah. Like I was actually like, I was listening to it for the first time. Yeah. I had been hearing it, but I was actually listening to it. And it was like this rock opera, this beautiful it was unlike anything I'd really decided to really listen to. And it's beautiful. It's what threw me into my Led Zeppelin phase, which, I went through that for a couple of years. Yeah.
So I'm thinking you're rediscovering somebody that's been around for a while, which I've done that as well. I think most people do like whether for you, you know, your peers, your parents, you're like, hey, back in my day, these guys are big, and then you listen, and you agree, like, oh yeah, these guys are the bee's knees.
Yeah. So you get all of a sudden you're like, I get it. Okay, I get why they're so great.
So I'm thinking they didn't. You have bands from the '70s. Not a lot of them did '80s music videos, which I know you got into that.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking you would have listened to like retro '70s radio to hear these guys then.
Yeah, and I think what got me into my dad had bought this like box set of Led Zeppelin. It was this huge like, you know, gift set. Actually, I ended up getting it later, but it was me just like randomly listening through it, and I'm telling you, I had headphones on, and there's nothing like listening to a song that epic on headphones, and it was it was a really cool moment.
Awesome, yeah. Good stuff, Beth. See, let's talk about Beth in your high school years. You're not a girl, but not yet a woman during this time. So tell me a song and artist that really. Now I'm thinking you would have been. This was in late '90s because I'm thinking '82. So high school years. It's now mid '90s or even the late '90s. So that bunch of new stuff's coming out. So what song just smacked you in the face and like, oh yeah, this is what the late '90s is all about. This is my high school years right here.
He Ain't Heavy by Neil Diamond. Now the Hollies had done that song in the '70s. That's the one that got it big, but Neil Diamond wrote it. Yeah. And I love Neil Diamond's version of it.
The one I've always liked from them, what was one when it was like, do 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 do. Does that sound familiar? Do 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 do.
I like Bring the Ruckus.
Was that Bring the Ruckus?
It might be. Yeah. I would probably pick that song.
Yeah, so I was thinking the dope. I like dope beats. That's what gets me hooked to a rapper or R&B act. Okay, that's a good one from Wu-Tang. Bring the Ruckus.
Yeah.
And you know what? Listen to your selections. It does. I am what you would call a music sicko, and I'm sensing you are as well because you're kind of all over the board with your music taste, and there's nothing wrong with that here. Yeah.
What was weird is I went through this like this phase in like the late '90s where I wasn't really too impressed with music. That's why I dove into like just older stuff.
The old stuff.
Yeah, I felt like very like I was this old person, you know, be like, kids these days, and I was only 17. But so I really liked listening to watching MTV after midnight because they would play the videos that they weren't allowed to play during the day.
Oh yes, yeah, the band list.
Yes, so that's where you could see like Nine Inch Nails Closer and like these type of videos that they just could not play during. And so that was to me the best music was the ones that they weren't allowed to play. Was not the music, but the videos to the music ended up being bad. But I thought it was the best music.
Well, you know what? That's kind of like that's a nice little marketing tool for them because it's like, shh, this is our little secret. We can't play this during the day, but if you stay up at midnight, we'll play the stuff that's too dangerous.
Most of the responsible people are asleep.
Yeah,
it's the irresponsible people that don't that you know aren't working or that you don't have a 9-to-5 job and stuff like that, or kids. That were like for me, I was staying up extra late, you know, Monday through Friday, just so I could watch certain like Headbangers Ball was typically late at night, and and it was just it was different. Like I've talked to people about this like recently about how like when we were young. We had to go to the depths of the earth to listen to great music or really good music. We couldn't just like Google it or go on Spotify and be like, oh, I want to listen to this or that. We had to like seek it and find it. Stay up till after midnight to watch a video or hope that the radio plays your favorite song.
Yes.
Unless you actually have the money to buy the album.
Absolutely. That was always a dilemma there, but it was good to have that choice, of course. Now, Bev, I'm going to talk about after maybe high school years, like because you described during your high school. Now, this time frame, either you're just graduating or this is like afterwards. I'm thinking this is now the new millennium. Yeah. We've had Y2K, ball drop, the whole scare. So this era, of course, the terrible 9/11 attacks. So I'm talking about this era of music. What was a song or maybe two songs that you fell in love with during this time?
During that... era, like the early 2000s. Again, music. I was still like I was more or less I can't even get into this. Okay, here we go. I was still getting into like I was listening to like recent music. I was partying, kind of going out, drinking and stuff like that. So I couldn't really sit and tell you a certain song that I would have actually loved listening to. I would say that I was still I was kind of embracing this like folksy type time period. I was getting into David Gray. I don't know if I would say, of them, yes. Yeah, I started getting into David Gray more. He had a White Ladder album and so I would say that time period, other than the drinking and partying music, which I couldn't really tell you exactly what song I listened to with that. The music that I calmed down to was David Gray, and what started me on that was Babylon.
Oh yes, that's a good one. Yeah. Babylon. Now, to you, I know Babylon has like a deep meaning. That was always over my head, and it kind of is now because I never looked into it. But the term Babylon, what does that mean to you? So
Babylon has a whole biblical, reference to it. But I think in that song itself, the song itself is about if you want me, then just tell me. Yeah. Him just say he put his heart out there. He put everything out there. So if you want this, then come to me. So it's like he's seeing her as like this Babylon, this thing that he hasn't maybe obtained yet, but just he put his heart out there, and he's just waiting for her to if you want me, then come and get me.
Come and get. All right, I would have gotten that wrong because I was thinking the term. I mean, I just liked listening to it. I didn't know what the backstory was because when that came out, I would have still been in high school. Uh-huh. So that was over my head. But I would have said it was just kind of like being in a dream state. Babylon. Yeah. That's just something how it made you feel. But so it's good that you told me what you knew about that song. Mm-hmm. I guess that was actually David Gray's true life story then.
Yes, and I found that a lot in his music. You can tell when David Gray was going through a heartache.
He was being real in his music.
Absolutely.
That's a good thing.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's good. Actually, my husband and I danced to a David Gray song at our wedding.
Okay, absolutely. So that'll be on the list. Now let's go to the next set of your tracks throughout your life. So this was like right after high school. I'm thinking, I want to take a wild guess now because this kind of is based on what Mystic Life is, because it deals with new mental wellness and overall health, but also not everyone maybe that comes here believes in it, but you're also deep into the spiritual realm.
Absolutely.
You have told me about this off camera. You believe there might be space aliens out there, and there's other stories. You believe there's merit to that.
Yes.
And that's cool beans.
Yeah.
Now, I'm still figuring that out. Now, I don't think you're an idiot for doing that. I just know for me, my thoughts might be elsewhere. But, I respect people, so you think what you think and deal with, and people do. Anyway, so with that, I'm trying to think, at what point in your life, maybe, would this have been, I like to think, because that's a deep thing. So I'm thinking maybe mid-2000s or maybe late 2000s, maybe you decide this was a big deal to you. Would you think that's fair, or am I wrong about that?
I would say I started diving heavily into the spiritual aspect. I mean, religion had always been there. Mm-hmm. Like growing up, I was raised Pentecostal, but I wasn't necessarily practicing Pentecostal, when I was older. But I would say it was about 2012, 2013 was when I started to, I would say it was like my awakening.
Okay. Yeah. Absolutely. Well, let's talk about the music then. Would you say like the next music songs that were on your list would have been that time frame, the one that you would have fallen in love with?
Yeah. I started getting into, I'd always loved Pink Floyd, obviously.
Okay.
But I really, it's like my soul was calling out to it, I should say. And, that's when I would, I started really understanding Pink Floyd, I guess. Okay,
so tell me the Pink Floyd song that you really connected with. This would have been the early 2010s, and you're falling in love with this field that you're in now. What's the song you really connected with? And I'll try to guess why you might really like that song.
Well, there's two of them. I would say that the song that I connected to spiritually was Time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Time, okay.
Yeah. And literally, so I was just in my 30s.
Okay.
And talk about a song that really kind of puts you in your place.
Yeah.
You really listen to the words, you're like, it rings true. Like, before you know it, you wake up and you're 27 or 30 or, yeah. I love that song. You know,
I'm impressed by the answer because that actually is a deep cut. Because most people, they say Pink Floyd, they know the stuff that was pop radio hits, like Another Brick in the Wall.
Yeah.
And another one, I wish
Wish You Were Here.
Yeah, Wish You Were Here. Yes, yeah. Those are two that stick up in my head. But in fact, I don't know if I've heard Time from start to finish. So I'm happy to put that in the playlist. I will learn about that song. But that is a deep cut. So that shows me you were deep into Pink Floyd, that you knew to put that in. Now, the next thing, now that's an older song. In early 2010, is there someone that was new, that had a fresh sound that you really enjoyed during that time? And what was it, if you do like that time frame?
I started getting into Arcade Fire.
Okay.
Yes. That's a nut. Yeah, I really... I actually, not too long ago, I told rarely do I will sit here and say I am a, such and such fan.
Okay.
It takes a lot for me to say I am a Led Zeppelin fan. I am,
okay.
I think I am an Arcade Fire fan. The more, more of the music I listen to, I like them even more.
All right, what was the song from them that you liked the best?
Afterlife.
Afterlife.
Yes.
Befitting. Because I'm thinking Afterlife, once it deals with what we can't see, that we can only have faith in.
Yeah.
So that's why you liked it?
I liked it, and also it's a love song, but it's the deeper parts of it. It's falling in love with someone, building a life with them, and then just having a problem, not knowing if your relationship's gonna make it. And what's the afterlife of that?
Okay.
Is the afterlife of it actually continuing the love? And this is the afterlife of, this is our heaven? Okay. Or is the afterlife not being together anymore? It's a really cool song. Yeah.
Oh, I was wrong about that. I think that might be the second one I've gone wrong. I think, but the other was I was kind of on the spot with where you were. But all right, so that's an interesting take on that. I see Afterlife, I'm just thinking this is after this life.
Yeah.
But that had a deep love meaning to it.
Yeah,
so
it does.
That's good to know that, Beth. All right.
Thanks.
All right, so let's go to the next phase of the music that you love. I'm going to guess this is now after 2015. We're in the latter half of the 2010s. You've this a field that you knew you've been in love with for many years now. So tell me at least one song, or it could be two songs, that's fine, that you would have discovered that you really connected with. And I guess this was anywhere from 2016 to 2020. What were those songs that's playing in your head?
So I would say, again, the older that I'm getting, I just keep recycling the same music because it's just, I feel that music is kind of saturated.
Yeah.
It's overwhelming.
Yeah.
I love what's going on because anybody, you don't have to be at the whim of a record company necessarily to make great music and to get it out there. But it's really hard to find, and I'm very impatient. So I keep recycling music. I would say the older, the stuff that I would be into now. All right, a new song, and it's a Tool song, like Parabola.
Yeah.
It's their newer stuff, and it's their newer stuff is just outstanding.
Okay.
Yeah, and they've grown as musicians quite a bit.
Well, I didn't know. I wasn't sure they were still together because I knew they were big in the early '90s that we mentioned early. Mm-hmm. I just don't know. Yeah, Tool's not someone that's never been on my radar. But of course, thanks to you, that these guys will have a big impact on this playlist.
I hope so.
So what was this? Yeah, this Tool song that's newer during this time. What was the song that you liked?
Parabola.
Parabola.
Yeah.
Parabola.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's two songs there. My mind just keeps going blank, but
that's okay.
They go together.
Yeah.
And people will know when they look into it.
Okay. Parabola. I'm going to guess, let me guess on this. Parabola, I'm thinking, it has something to do with conflict, maybe. That maybe they're at war, but maybe not with, an enemy, maybe they're at war within. Like maybe Tool, maybe they're at war with each other, or maybe it's their parents, maybe it's a loved one.
Tool's very much spiritual, so it is very much like spiritual warfare, propaganda on the media. Yeah, they're very much into the the occult and conspircy. Maybe what people people don't think it's conspiracy anymore, but yeah, they're very much like in the know.
Okay, so I was going to say spiritual warfare within. That's what purple is. Is that correct?
I would say that's it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I was right on that. All right. But yeah, so we'll listen to that. Now, I think there's 2 more eras of music I think that are important to you, and I think we'll dive into that. But one, like 2020s, of course, that's when COVID-19 hit. That changed the world. And of course, a few years after, we were taking our time to climb the ladder. So I'm thinking this is a very important step for you during this life, because what I know about you now, which we'll get to that in the last era, but this would have been pandemic era through the first 2 years after. So tell me a song or 2 songs that you really loved that maybe you discovered, and you're like, you know what, I'm glad I discovered this. This is going to help me get through these times. It was a really rough time. We didn't know what was going to happen. We thought we was all going to die, but then we turned out it was okay. We conquered it. So what helped you during this time frame, Beth?
I would say what, and it's hard for me to even say any certain, one certain like song, because my husband and I end up spending a lot more time together during that time. And so I started diving, he's 7 years older than I am. Okay. And so we have a lot of similar music interests, but then there's some music that he was listening to, like maybe, Run DMC or something like that. And I was like 8. Yeah. Like, there's no way that my parents were listening to rap or anything. So I started, again, I was like, during the COVID, I started recycling and going through. It's when I started listening to, like, Queensrÿche even more. I used to listen to it here and there when I was younger. I started listening to it more and diving more into some of these other bands that had spiritual because I was still in my like awakening phase. Okay. And so I started picking up on how these bands I had been listening to all these years were actually talking about spiritual stuff that you wouldn't think that's what they're talking about. So yeah, I started getting into, so I would say like Queensrÿche, Silent Lucidity was like a big one for me. That I got into.
Okay, well, let me guess. That's you said Queensrÿche. What was the name of the song?
Queensrÿche, Silent Lucidity.
Silent Lucidity. Okay, I've heard the band, but I'm not familiar with the. Let me see. You're okay.
I thought that was mine.
You're okay. I figured you didn't. It was a knee-jerk reaction. Yeah. All right, Queensrÿche. Tell me the song title one more time.
Silent Lucidity.
Silent Lucidity. So I'm gonna take a wild guess on this one because I'm not familiar with that. Once again, I'm thinking this is spiritual based, but maybe not a war this time. I'm thinking maybe you're in war, but this is a song that's attempting to find peace, to get out of a spiritual warfare. You're trying to find spiritual peace. So I'm gonna guess that's what this song. Well, that's why you like this song.
This song is it was one of my dad's favorite songs, and the song is about losing a loved one, someone dying. And it's like the loved one is speaking to the person that. Anyway, it's the going through the turmoil of losing someone you love because they passed, and then coming to terms with like waking up the next day and realizing, oh my God, this actually happened. Yeah. So it's basically it's someone just. It's like, I'm sorry, I'm getting jumbled up.
You're okay.
It's instructions, like literal instructions on how to astral travel and how you can speak to, just because this person lost their life here, they are going on in the astral plane, and it's giving instructions on how you can still keep in touch with your loved ones in your dream state, and that they're always here protecting you. And it's a very heart-wrenching song when you listen to it, and I just find it funny that was one of my dad's favorite songs, and when he passed away, like, that was a song I was left with, and it was powerful when I finally listened to it.
Wow, the concept of that song is mind blowing.
It is.
Like, I'm thinking if we'd ever discover that aliens are real, the first thing that the FBI should listen to should be that song up here. Well, not the FBI. Who's the people that oversee extracurricular activities? It's not the FBI.
The CIA?
Maybe, yeah, I think it's the CIA.
Yeah.
Yes, they need to check into that if they need to listen to that. So I recommend CIA people, you listen to that song. You will learn the truth that you're looking for. It's right there.
Yes.
Thanks to Queensrÿche. Or Queensrÿche. Yes, I'm saying that, yes. Thanks to Queensrÿche, that they will tell you the truth about that song.
Yes.
All right. So with that, we're going to get to one more era of music that you would have liked. And then also I got a bonus for you, so that'll be after this, after you tell me this. But I'm thinking, you told me, which maybe some people already know this, but this place opened here, Mystic Life. This opened late 2022, early 2023. That's when you officially opened this place. That's a big deal to open a business that people come to, and it's still active as of right now, and forever and always, hopefully. But I'm thinking you might have two songs you would have liked. There's probably one, you tend to connect with an older song in a new way, and you also discover new people. So tell me maybe an older song you finally connected with during this time when you opened Mystic Live.
Good, let's do that. Okay, so Elvis Presley, If I Can Dream.
Okay.
That is a powerful song to me. Like, his voice is absolutely amazing in it. You can hate Elvis Presley, but you'd have to agree that he does have one hell of a voice. But If I Can Dream, and it is a beautiful message.
Yes.
Beautiful. It's very much, kind of sounds like Martin Luther King's I Have a Dream. It's kind of like goes along with that, but yeah, that's probably it. It's one of the songs that gives me goosebumps.
Well, I should ask information about that song. Did he release that in the late 70s or was it early 60s? What year do you think?
This was his comeback special, so I think it was 68.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's when he's wearing like the white suit and
Because I'm thinking if he was inspired by Martin Luther King's I Have a Dream speech.
I don't think he was. It reminds me of that.
Okay, so
he didn't do that. It just like reminds me of.
Because I was thinking that speech, I think that may have been 69.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was 69.
Yeah.
So, okay, well, but so I'm trying to think why you would. I'm trying to think why Elvis, because that sounds like a deep song even for Elvis, because he was pop friendly during the era, like he was friendly to radio. That sounds like something that maybe wasn't a big hit. I'm trying to think why that is. I'm thinking, well, I know for a while he liked to shake his hips on TV, and then for a while on TV you couldn't show him below his hips because he would do the twist thing, and they thought that was too sexual, which has obviously changed now. But back then, what he did, the adults in the room didn't want to see that for their kids at the time.
Isn't that insane?
That's
what we were worried about.
That was 50 years ago. It was a different time.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking. I'm going to think why Elvis. My guess would be why I'm thinking Elvis, because you would have liked it the way Elvis meant to write it. So I'm going to say
he didn't write it. I don't think Elvis really. I don't think Elvis wrote. I don't think he performed. I think there's maybe one song he performed that he wrote. He performed other people's songs. But during that time period, Elvis was, it was his comeback special.
Yes.
Because he had gone into the army and he was in Germany for years. And so this was like his big televised thing. And so that was one of the songs that he sang. And there was like, maybe Suspicious, or maybe that was later on. But
and he sung the song. Of course, he probably chooses to sing songs based on how the lyrics are. They didn't force things on him. So I'm thinking maybe he liked it. During the 60s, I'm thinking what was going on in the 60s probably had a big role in how that song was written. I'm thinking maybe he wanted, he didn't like what was going on because he went to the, he didn't like war that was going on. Also, he didn't like what was going on at home, which at the time would have been civil rights movement. And also women, during that time, women was speaking out about how they were mistreated in certain ways. I know the 60s were big with protesting. And like I said, because I wasn't there, I only can base it on the clips I've seen.
Oh, yeah. And he obviously liked to rock the boat. He was performing music that white men didn't perform, like that weren't So the music he was performing was prominently written by black entertainers, black musicians. So, he was just kind of in a a realm of his own. Was trying to
absolutely,
like,
and I think
way,
well, I think he spoke out against the norm because and also he grew up in the South. I know with the problem with racism, it was big in the South, and he had thoughts that maybe the majority of those people.
Memphis. I mean, he grew up in Memphis, so
yeah. That was an unfortunate era of race problems, but he was against that. I think I think part of that song was talking about, listen, we need to educate ourselves, realize that what we hate is not something to hate on, but it's beautiful.
Absolutely.
So that's a protest against that. So I think that's what it is. I think that's why you like it.
Yeah, it's powerful. I love it. It gives me goosebumps.
Yeah, I've got most of these right. I know when I talked to Tony the previous episode, he was telling me I think I only got one wrong because I was guessing his songs. The Spaceman, and this makes you smarter. I feel like Albert Einstein in this building right now.
Good.
This place is dope.
Yeah.
Now,
maybe we'll find the cure for humanity's problems just sitting here if we talk long enough. You think so?
Well, that's my goal. I do want to bring people together, whether you're left, right, black, white.
Yeah.
I do know there's a lot of trauma, a lot of podcasts, they eat into that drama, like, oh yeah, they're angry for the sake of being angry. And I don't want my show to be, like, if I'm angry, it's rare, and it's not because I'm forcing myself to be, because that's what my audience just wants. I want all sorts of people from all walks of life to listen to this.
Well, and you can get angry at any time. They want to watch this because they don't want to be fucking angry anymore.
Yeah.
You know? Sorry.
It's okay. I can bleep anything I need.
Okay.
You say whatever you want, I'll bleep what I need.
Okay.
But anywho... But yeah, that's what I mean. I want all walks of life. I want this to be the ultimate center show. There's left shows and right shows, and this is the show we all meet in the middle and learn.
That's great.
And make things happen.
Yes.
All right, now we're almost done. Now, within the last 2 years, I would say from 2023 to 2026, right now, is there a new artist that you really like that's came out and you just like, oh, this person's good for music?
No.
No?
That's sad. Isn't that sad?
Well, some people do have that opinion. People don't like this era.
I haven't reached out enough. I think ever since I opened up this place and dove into business and stuff like that, I think I just kept recycling the same music. Maybe I just didn't have the energy to put into a new song, which I should. I know I should, but I think I hold music at such a high standard that I'm too scared.
Well, don't be scared. It's okay. People like what they like because that influences my catchphrase, which since the show's about then, I'll say the catchphrase. But what influences my catchphrase is that there are, whether people that love music or people that didn't like it to begin with, I think a lot of people do say that this isn't their era. I hear that from people that are maybe your age, but they're hopeful, in which the people, they really just crap on it. Those people didn't like music. These are the people, there's... Every once in a while there's a song they like, but music's not really their thing. Yeah. They didn't like it in general, and they'll definitely say, oh, back then Elvis Presley, he was better than all these idiots today. There's people that are like that.
And that's, Elvis is an amazing singer, but he couldn't write music.
Yeah, he needed help as well.
Maybe he could, but he didn't.
He had help as well, people have help.
And then, Neil Diamond, one of the reasons, he's one of the greatest songwriters.
Yeah.
So many songs that are huge. Neil Diamond wrote them, and even as I had gotten this one greatest hits CD years ago, and it was his greatest hits, but it was his greatest hits that he wrote.
Yes.
And I'm a believer that and I saw her face. Yeah, Neil Diamond wrote that. I didn't even know Neil Diamond wrote that.
All right. Well, let me ask you this: one new artist, which she's been more on pop mainstream radio probably since 2023. If you hate her guts, I'll let this out.
I don't hate her guts.
Okay.
I do like Billie Eilish. I also like Lana.
Yeah.
Lana is what's her last name?
I don't know either.
Crap. I can't. Yeah, she sang a song, "Young and Beautiful." She's got a really pretty voice too. But no, I do like.
Okay.
I just don't know the names of the songs or anything. But.
Okay.
Lana Del Rey, that's her name.
Oh, her. I've heard of her. Yes. And you know what? They actually did a duet. I know Coachella a few years ago. They duetted. I don't know if they've done a recording as a duet, but they did one live, and it was pretty. They had good charisma.
I bet.
So that was cool. They did that. But I'm thinking,
So what should I check out? What's something that I should check out?
I'd say check out Billie Eilish, and the song you should check out. Trying to think of the name of the song now. Well, no, I guess I'll put it on here. Her first big one was where she went, duh, do, 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 do.
Oh, I remember that song.
Well, then you've already connected it. If you liked it, I'm thinking that's, well, so I'm thinking a song I guess you would appreciate, which I like as well as that. I'm sorry, Billy, I forgot the name of the song, but it's the one where she goes, duh, do, 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 do.
Yeah.
So that one, that'll be on the list. Shame on me for forgetting that. So that'll be, yeah, so, all right, so you enjoy a little bit of Billie Eilish, and you know what? I think if you dug deep with Billie Eilish, you would connect with her because it's based on who she is.
Uh-huh.
She does speak about her personal opinions, and you would respect that. So I suggest you check her out, Billie Eilish. I'll recommend that to you. Now, your schedule. I know the schedule of what people can do here varies. So, what would be the best way for people to learn what you're doing next? So, talk about that.
It would be to go to our website.
Okay.
It's always updated every event that we're going to have. Tonight we have a sound bath.
Yeah.
That's where Wendy plays the sound bowls. There are crystal sound bowls, and the frequency that it plays at heals that part of your body, helps heal that part of your body. So we're really excited about that.
All right, absolutely. With that, so yes, please check her out if this is something you're interested in. It's really dope what she does here, so please do that. And with that, thank you for listening. And me and Beth want you to remember that good music is not dead.
No, it's not.